Hello and welcome. One more time, y'all. Happy Cyber Monday. If you are on my email list, you got my promo email. And there's a promo code on the email this morning. Another heart, thank you. And Christine Chasen is here. Hi, Chris. So you got an email to get my book for a mere $5 with the promo code, and that's for this week only, so check your inbox. I hope my U.S. friends had a nice Thanksgiving weekend. I had a terrific weekend because I was a presenter for the British Voice Association's online event that focused on CCM singers. Popular singers and teachers of popular styles. So it was a really great experience. And now I feel like December is coming up really fast. But that is exciting to me because in December, I will announce that the doors are opening to register for my next Neuro-Vocal certification training. And if you're listening to me right now, you can get a jump on that and sign up even before the doors open. For the month of December, only the pre-sale price will save you 300 smackers, $300. So head on over to my website right there, and get the skinny. And of course, you can feel free to reach out to me with questions if you want to. Of course. There we go. There's our title. Now, you care about your students' progress and you care about them as people, and you make every effort to be responsible and professional. You start on time. You make sure your students have all the materials they need. You create recitals. You enter them in contests. And sometimes you even tie yourself in knots trying to accommodate their schedules. Am I right? Overall, your niceness works really well for you. You like being nice. You like the special and often wonderful relationships you have with your students, and those relationships that are often extended even into, their families, to their families. But here it comes. Here it comes. You knew I was leading up to this. In some ways, your niceness is not serving you, and often not serving your students. Bum, bum, bum. So when I talk to voice professionals, as I do, as you know I do, the one thing they are universally fearful of is raising their prices. I feel you on that. But we think that if we raise our prices, our clients will be angry, or they'll think we're bad. They'll think bad things about us. They'll quit their lessons. But honestly, y'all, raising your prices is so very close to the bottom of the list of things to flag in your studio that might negatively affect your retention rates. There are 7 things that I came up with for this broadcast that would actually make a much, much bigger difference to your student retention and that you have control over. And that is what we're going to talk about today. I am Meredith Colby, and I support voice teachers and coaches to create confident teaching and singing of microphone-based styles. I bring information to teachers through media platforms and classes to help them fill in the gaps in their learning so that they can effectively and lovingly help their students find their true voices, and by doing that, create a prosperous voice business. I am the author of Money Notes, How to Sing High, Loud, Healthy, and Forever, which introduces Neuro-Vocal Method, a way to teach healthy singing for popular styles based on brain science. Now, please feel free to contribute to the conversation. I love getting comments and questions. And if you hear something that makes sense to you or that you agree with, give me a thumbs up, give me a heart, give me a hashtag that. Anything that that really resonates with you either before or on the replay. And if you are watching on YouTube, like it, follow it, help me out. There we go. All right, our freebie today, which you will get if you put retention in the comments, or on YouTube, if you click the link below this recording, my freebie today is a link to an article that will walk you through what we're talking about today, so you don't have to remember or take notes or anything. Just put retention in the comments, and the Neuro-Vocal bot will send you a link to that article. And if you're watching on YouTube, there's a link below. The bot will also give you an opportunity to be reminded about my next broadcast. So please opt in for that little reminder, because I have to ask your permission. I just do every week, because otherwise Facebook believes that I am sending you spam. So we can't have that. And then they'll cancel me. Okay, friends, now let's get to the list. Here are the things that you can do to make your students quit lessons with you. No, we're not going to phrase it that way, are we? Here are things you can do to increase your retention. Number 1, don't defend your low fees. So I'm starting at the prickliest point, so hang with me here. I realize that this seems counterintuitive. Wouldn't keeping your prices low actually help you retain students? Yeah, for a certain small percentage of students, this is undoubtedly true. But in the aggregate, in the big picture, it's really not true. And here's why. When you keep your fees low, you communicate. This is why you want to put retention in the comments. So you have this list. You communicate a diminished value for your time and your expertise to your client. Thank you for the thumbs up, whoever just gave me that. You also communicate a diminished value for your time and expertise to yourself. You know, whether we mean to or not, we all consider the less expensive thing to be cheap. Sorry, it's true. We all grew up with some version of you get what you pay for, right? And it's so you can be the cheapest or you can be the best. But psychologically, to other people, you cannot be both. It's just how it is. Another reason it's bad for the health of your studio to keep your fees too low is that you can develop really negative feelings around that. You, the voice professional, can start to feel bad and resentful, whether or not you mean to, whether you think you are letting it be known. Your clients will read your negative feelings. They just will. You can feel broke and desperate. We don't want that. You can take it, okay, show of hands. You can take it personally when someone cancels their lesson. I've done it. I think most of us have done it. You might panic if you have a slow week, right? You are servicing a high school and they have their tech week, and so most of your students cancel and you just panic, right? You might feel that you can't take time off, and then you kind of feel resentment or you develop burnout about that. Now, on a week-to-week basis, none of these are huge. You can manage any of those. You know, none of these are something you can't like push through in the short term, but over time, you can imagine how negatively that could affect your studio. Like a voice teacher or coach who places an inordinate amount of weight on whether or not a student attends their lesson this week is not a teacher who necessarily has the student's best interests in mind. So if you're having these feelings associated with lack, your students are reading you, y'all. They may not know why they feel uncomfortable, but they know they feel uncomfortable, and that can make them quit lessons. Okay, that was my longest one and my biggest soapbox, and you know how I feel about that. Okay, number two, don't give free lessons. Show of hands again, who's done it? We've all done it. We've all given free lessons because we love our students and we want to make it possible for them to keep studying with us even when they have financial difficulties. But today I want to encourage you to please don't do that no more. Don't you do that anymore. No, never again. Don't give lessons. If you're wondering what kind of accent that was, it wasn't an accent from anything in particular. It was a Space Invaders accent. So don't give lessons away and don't trade. If you trade, you will come out on the short end of the stick every time. If you want to give lessons away, there are organizations through which you can donate your skills. Or you can do a sliding scale thing, which I'll get to in a second. But my friends, no matter how nice you are, no matter how nice your student who's getting the free lessons is, People simply do not value things that they get for free. Also, I mean, there are psychological studies, particularly in the world of business, around that. And also, what is that person communicating to you going into that situation about how much they value you and your talents? You know, someone who's asking you to donate your time to them is really making a statement about what they feel that your time is worth, aren't they? Aren't they? In marketing, they call it perceived value. It's about people valuing something that has cost them and not valuing something that has not. And I see I have a comment here from Chris Chasen who says, I think we've had this conversation. Ha ha ha. Yes, we have. We have indeed, Chris. And so, yes, because you're nice, Chris. This is our problem. This is the problem we're talking about today. So speaking of human nature, the free client will not, I repeat, will not turn into a paying client. They will never turn into a paying client. They will feel guilty and they will quit, or they will continue to exploit you for as long as you will put up with it, and then they will quit. If you want to implement a sliding scale policy, you should totally do it. I do it. I have one. I think it's really important in the arts. But it's not the same as giving your time away for free. That will cost you too much. That will cost you retention. Okay, number 3. This is like, it feels really negative, but I'm just trying to help. Okay, number 3, don't become friends with your client. I understand that your clients are really interesting people, really wonderful people. Mine are too. But they are in your life. They came to you because you're a professional and they deserve your professional attention. Actual friends, real friends, are people who are the good and the bad. Mitch Goldman says it's too late because he took a lesson with me and he was already my friend. But actual friends share the good and the bad, right? Failures, successes, they go to each other's performances. In the case of Mitch, we've sung in bands together. Your student loves you and would love to hang out with you and talk about her most recent audition or vacation, the way friends do. And you care a lot about them, and that is why you are so good at your job. But if you were friends, you would get to call her and you would get to tell her about your latest plumbing disaster or the fight you had with your mother. And since that would absolutely make lessons very awkward, frightfully awkward, darling, and probably pretty unproductive, you are not friends. Ergo, you are not friends. It is not your client's job to be there for you. You are there for your client. So keep your boundaries clear, charge for your time, keep your students. And number 4, don't treat every student the same. Now, this is where I get to start making Disney sounds. You may have a program or a system, which is great. You should have a system. And maybe you start all your new students with certain pieces of repertoire. The goal for your studio might be for all your students to be able to demonstrate a certain level of proficiency in all kinds of music, all the types of music that you assign to them. Now, if you are doing this because the place that you work requires you to, then you have to do it. And you can just cross this off. This doesn't apply to you because you have to do it. But if you are an independent teacher, you may just be doing this because it seems like the right thing to do, or that was how you were treated. And yeah, you're right. It looks great on paper. It seems, and when you're describing it to the parents, or, it seems like it conforms to the Western academic standards of how we do things. But if you're an independent teacher or coach, and this is how you're treating your clients, you're probably shooting yourself in the foot. Your clients did not seek out private lessons because they want to go forth into the worlds of classical music theater and rock and be equally stunning at all 3 things. That's not why they came to you. They came to you because they want to sing what they want to sing. They want to be able to express themselves in the style that they love. They want to feel confident in their singing, whether it's sitting in the church pew or whether it's sitting on a stage in front of thousands of people. Your students will stay with you longer if they feel seen and if they feel supported in learning to sing the kind of music that they love. They will stay with you. Number 5, and this is could have been 4A and B, but I gave it its own number. Don't teach everyone classical technique. You may have learned that good technique applies to everything and that good technique is de facto classical technique. But you guys, approaching all your students this way will almost certainly hurt your student retention. And I know this is, if you are doing this, this has already happened to you because it is so common. So obviously, because of what I teach voice professionals, this is kind of one of my soapbox subjects. I'll be honest with you, but I'm not going to get all soapboxy about it. I'm going to keep it short. People want help singing the styles of music they love, as I just said. With very few exceptions, classical technique is not applicable to most popular styles. So if you don't know how to teach a technique for a popular style, just please learn. I mean, come take my class. I'm all about empowering teachers with real-world applicable tools. But whatever, do whatever you have to do. Do what you want to do to increase your own personal mojo in the area of teaching different techniques for different styles of singing. Okay? Yay. Number 6. See, I was not so boxy about that. I made it very short on purpose. So number 6, do go easy on the practice homework. I know you want your students to improve. And you know that the more they practice, the more quickly they will get better. Ergo, lots of practice. Makes sense, right? But here's the problem with too much practice homework. And I'm going to do this in steps. Here's how it goes. And by the way, thumbs or hearts if this has been you. This was definitely me in the early years of my teaching. Okay, so here are the steps. They like you / love you, adore you, and they want you to approve of them, and they don't have or make time to practice as much as you ask them to, and they are then aware that they have not practiced, and then they come to lessons anyway, and then they either lie and you know they're lying, or they tell the truth and you chide them for it. In either case, bad feelings all around. And then they begin to associate voice lessons with bad feelings. And then they stop wanting to come to voice lessons. So that's how that goes. So that's all. That's all. Just go easy on the practice. And also to that end, a little more general, a little less specific, lower the bar. Your students are with you because they say they want to be better singers. And you assume that they are serious when they say that. And because you're you, and you know all kinds of things that are good and bad for their voices, you're the teacher, and they need to know that about these things, right? They need to know and adhere to good vocal practices, right? Because vocal health first. So you tell them all the stuff. You tell them don't talk too much and don't talk too loudly and drink a lot of water and don't eat cheese and don't drink coffee and don't shout and don't scream and don't smoke pot and make sure you get enough sleep and always warm up before you sing and don't miss your voice lessons and etc., etc., etc. You do all the stuff. Now, it is almost certain that a given number of the things you have told them to do and be are not in keeping with who they are or how they live their lives. Therefore, they fail to live up to your directives. And then they either lie to you or they endure your admonitions and lectures regarding how they have made a vocally unhealthy choice. So that sounds so fun, right? Yay! So much like why they committed to voice lessons. Friends, please remember that the choice is theirs. They have agency. And you need to create a safe space for them in order to do the work that you need to do. In order to wave your magic wand, you have to create a safe space for your client. So if you lovingly support them and help them do their best within what they are able to do, they will stay with you. And you guys can work together until they meet their goals and objectives, which you will help them do. There you go. That's all 7 things. I am Meredith Colby. Thank you so much for being here with me today or on the replay. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, as well as at meredithcolby.com anytime. Stay safe, stay well, and have a great week. Bye-bye.